Hey, welcome! So if you live in a co-op housing society, you've definitely heard the term bylaws thrown around, right? And let's be honest, they can seem like this super dense, complicated rule book, mostly full of things you can't do. But what if that's the wrong way to look at them? What if they're actually the secret ingredient to a happy, well-run community? Well, today, we're going to decode them.
So let me just ask you straight up. Do you really know the rules of the game where you live? Because getting a handle on your society's bylaws is, well, it's absolutely crucial. These aren't just suggestions. They literally define your rights, your responsibilities, and the entire operating system for your home. All right, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the bylaws as a kind of co-op living contract. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, your rights versus responsibilities. After that, we'll pull back the curtain on how decisions get made, and finally, we'll cover what happens when rules are broken. Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the co-op living contract. And the big idea here is to completely reframe how we think about these documents. Seriously, they aren't just a long list of don'ts. It's better to think of them as the foundational agreement, the very glue that holds the entire community together. So what's actually in that contract? This number. Most model bylaws are divided into 20 main sections. Yep, that's right, 20. And yeah, it sounds like a lot, because it is. But it kind of has to be. These sections cover everything from the society's legal status and finances to how members should behave and, how to sort out disputes.
And this is exactly why it's so helpful to think of the bylaws as a social contract. See, it's not a rulebook designed to corner you or limit you. It's a framework built to protect your investment, to make sure everyone gets a fair shake, and to lay out a clear system for managing all the property you share.
Okay, so if it's a contract, what are the actual terms? This brings us to the part that matters most to every single resident, your rights versus your responsibilities. This is the fundamental give and take of being a member of the club. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. It's a balancing act, right? On one side of the scale, you have what you get, your rights. The right to actually use and live in your flat, to vote on big decisions, and even to inspect the society's books. But on the other side, you've got what you give, your responsibilities. Things like paying your dues on time, keeping your own flat in good shape, and just generally following the rules that let a whole community of people live together smoothly. Speaking of dues, ever wonder where that money actually goes? It's not just dumped into one big pot. As you can see, your payments are carefully split up into specific funds. You've got your day-to-day maintenance fund, a repairs fund, and the super important sinking fund for those big, unexpected emergencies. This whole system is designed to keep the building financially healthy for the long haul.
All right, so we know the rules and we know our responsibilities. But who's actually in charge? Who enforces the rules and makes the big calls? Let's take a look at the power structure. It's basically a two-level system. First, you've got the managing committee. Think of them as the managers who handle all the day-to-day stuff, hiring vendors, overseeing repairs, making sure dues are collected. But for the really big picture items like approving massive expenses, changing society policies, or deciding to completely redevelop the building, that power belongs to the general body. And who is the general body? It's everyone. It's all the members. It's you.
And let's be 100% clear on this point, because it's so important. While the committee runs the daily show, the general body, all of you together, holds the supreme authority. You should never forget that. The final word on the issues that matter most always rests with the members. Okay, last section. What happens when things go wrong? Whether it's a member who keeps breaking a rule, or maybe it's you feeling like the committee made a totally bad call. The bylaws actually have a clear roadmap for handling conflict and getting things back on track. So if a member violates the rules, let's say they just stop paying their dues, or they make some huge renovation without permission, there's a formal process. It doesn't just go from 0 to 60. It usually starts with official notices, then it can escalate to fines, and for really serious, repeated problems, it can even lead to expulsion. The system has teeth to make sure everyone stays in line. But let's flip that around for a second. What about the other side of the coin? What if you're the one who feels a decision made by the committee is unfair, or maybe not transparent, or just plain goes against the rules? Do you have any power? Oh, absolutely. The bylaws give you a clear, step-by-step path to follow. First, you have the right to ask for the records related to the decision. Next, you can formally record your objection so it's on the books. If that doesn't resolve it, you can escalate the whole issue to that supreme authority we talked about, the general body. And as a final resort, you can take your case to the cooperative registrar.
And really, the most crucial point to take away from all this is that the system is designed with checks and balances. It is not a one-way street where the committee has all the power. It's a framework built to hold both the members and the management accountable. And that's what protects everyone's rights in the end.
Which brings us right back to where we started. After seeing how it all fits together, what do you think? Are your society's bylaws just a restrictive rule book designed to tell you what to do? Or are they a protective framework that makes living in a community not just possible, but actually pretty great? The answer really is all about how you and your neighbors decide to use them.